Example 6, we want to find f prime of x if f of x is equal to the natural log of x. So first let's look at the definition of f of x. Well, f of x, which is equal to the natural log of the absolute value of x, is equal to the following. So since it's the absolute value of x, that means that we have the natural log of x if x is greater than 0, and it is the natural log of negative x if x is less than 0. Okay, so let's take a look at when we have the second scenario. So what happens when we let f of x equal the natural log of negative x when x is less than 0. So let's find the derivative of this function. So if we want to find the derivative of this function, this is f prime of x, which is going to equal, well, it's going to be, if it's the natural log of negative x, then that means we have negative 1 over x times the derivative with respect to x of negative x. So therefore, f prime of x is going to equal negative 1 over x. And what is the derivative of negative x? Well, that is negative 1. So therefore, we can see that the derivative, or f prime, is going to be positive 1 over x. Okay, now let's take a look at the other scenario. If we let f of x now equal the natural log of x, where x is greater than 0, let's find a derivative of that function. So f prime of x is going to equal 1 over x times the derivative with respect to x of x. And so that means that f prime of x is then going to equal 1 over x times the derivative with respect to x of x is 1. So here we get f prime of x, which is going to equal 1 over x. So we can see here that we get the same thing. So that tells us that f prime of x is going to equal 1 over x, provided that x does not equal 0. So this is one particular formula that you want to make sure that you remember. So the result of this example is a definition. Definition number 4 tells us that the derivative with respect to x of the natural log of x is going to equal 1 over x. And now let's take a look at what this graph looks like. So the graph shows the graph of the function f of x, which is equal to the natural log of x, which is in blue in this example, and its derivative f prime is 1 over x. So notice that when x is small, the graph of y is equal to the natural log of the absolute value of x is steep. And so f prime of x is large, positive, or negative.